Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. Quick little episode here for you guys as we finally got the Kawhi Leonard news in that Dallas and Clippers game that we've got tonight, game 2. Obviously, the Clips up 1, but we were waiting on the news about Kawhi before getting this episode out to you guys. Now we know he's going to go. So he's got props up. We've got all the information we need to make bets right now. I've got a couple best bets already for this one. Also, just want to dive into some stuff that you need to know before you do bet on this game. So let's get right into it. You can see this Clippers team is going to be with all of its players. Nothing on Kawhi there. He's still listed as questionable in some places, but he's got props up. He's going to give it a go. That's the news that did come out. So we're going to see everybody here. Probably a few less minutes for a couple guys. Definitely Amir Coffey back to the bench. We lost his props as soon as the Kawhi news came out and Kawhi's props came up because he's the dude who starts when Kawhi's not in there. So he's not going to necessarily get the same numbers, the same amount of run, especially. So definitely want to be aware of that stuff and then see how a couple other guys fare without Kawhi. For Dallas, we know they're going to have everybody that they had in game 1. Probably similar distribution of minutes, but I do think we'll see a little bit more Daniel Gafford if he's able to stay out of trouble. They really need him to play better. Zubac absolutely dominated them in this last game, game 1. Probably a few less minutes and stats available for Zoo once Kawhi comes back as well. He definitely suffers a little bit with Kawhi on the floor, but that still going to see a lot of Daniel Gafford if he's able to stay out of that foul trouble to make sure they have that down low presence. Game 1 stats to look at here, a couple of things here on this first slide. We've got the score, obviously 97-109. All right, the field goal percentage, not very good for Dallas. The three-point percentage, really noticeable there. 10 for 33 versus 18 for 36 from this Clippers squad. Something's got to give here. The Dallas Mavericks can't shoot 30% from deep the whole series if they want to keep this close at all. And I don't know that we can expect the Clippers to maintain a 50% three-point percentage as well. Obviously, that's going to come down moving forward here. Maybe close to it at times, but this is definitely an outlier. The rebounding, obviously huge for the Clippers there. That was a huge part of all of this, and a big reason that they won this game is they definitely dominated the boards, especially the offensive boards. And then the free throw disparity, obviously in favor of the Mavericks. Like, if you just look at this, Mavs score 14 more points off of free throws, but you've got 24 more points for the Clippers. 12-point victory, right? That does seem to add up to those amount of points right there. 10 to 12 points that they just dominated off of the three-point line after you consider the free throws. Other things to keep in mind here, everything else also kind of dominant for this Mavs team. They caused some turnovers, got 18 points off of those turnovers, and turned a lot of those into fast break points. Obviously, they're the same amount of fast break points as those points off turnovers. Not all their fast break points were off of a Clippers turnover, but the point is they got out and ran, and they were the team that was definitely in transition a lot more in this last game for the Mavs. Everything else down low, points in the paint, second chance points, actually pretty even overall as the Mavericks were able to get into the paint and score a bit more than you'd think, especially without those threes hitting. Let's look real quick, though, at how Kawhi impacts this Clippers team in general on the season. Obviously, a much better record with him than without him, well above 500 versus at 500 on the season when he did not play. The points dropped by about 4 per game without Kawhi, so you might expect a few more points in this one for the Clips. And the offensive rating way, way better with him, obviously, than without. 8 points per possession, per 100 possessions better with Kawhi. Thing is, the defensive rating is about the same, actually a little bit better with Kawhi, and they play way, way faster with him as well, which is why even though their offensive rating is so much better when he's on the floor or available in games, the points per game don't go up that dramatically because he slows things down as they now have a really, really good half-court player alongside James Harden, obviously, and Paul George. But Kawhi is really the half-court monster for this team and the only dude who's really shown capable to score from down low on his own. Zubac doesn't necessarily back guys down. He relies on second chance points, lobs, and things of that nature. So with Kawhi in there for what we should expect to be 32 to 35 minutes in this one, I think this game will slow down, but the Clippers offense is going to be even more efficient than it was in game 1. All that said, we are going Mavs plus 1.5. This thing switched from minus 2.5 for the Mavericks to plus 1.5 for them, as now you've got the Clippers favored with Kawhi in the game. Apparently he's worth 3 points, and that does add up. About 3 points to the total is what you can expect for Kawhi in terms of keeping his team closer and usually winning these games with him in it, as you saw that really good record with him. However, all that stuff from game 1 that I just showed you, I think it's got to regress back towards the averages there. You're going to get closer to below 40% three-point percentage for this Clippers squad, whereas the Mavs, I expect them to shoot a little bit better. They looked super out of sorts until they really got into the second half, and it was too late at that point. You're going to see a lot of Kyrie and Luka, but I think you're going to definitely get a bit more help from the role players in this one to help them probably win this game, but at least keep it within 2 points for sure and cover the 1.5 point spread. And a player prop that I already have up for you is Kyrie Irving. Now, I do want to remind you, we've got this live stream coming up, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, every weekday moving forward during the playoffs, 2:30 p.m. on the weekends. But here on Tuesday, we're going to be doing this in a few hours at 5:30 p.m. Eastern to get a couple more bets in here. I'm going to be spending the next couple hours looking a little bit more deeply into these player props. So definitely want to jump in there. You can also jump into the Discord, link in the description of the video. Make sure that you do check out what we're doing in there. A lot of really good takes from people in there, really good looks that are just coming to the surface because we're all talking and having those ideas percolate. But looking at this Kyrie bet, over 4.5 boards for Kyrie. You can read everything I've got here. It's just really about the usage for him and the volume of minutes that he's going to be playing. I don't know how you get him below 38 minutes moving forward. He and Luka both going to play around 38 to 42 minutes, depending on the game. They probably would have both played closer to 42 if this game was close and they didn't come out at the end in the fourth quarter when it didn't matter anymore. So I think I know the minutes are going to stay high. And as a result, like just by being on the court for that long and that much longer than everybody else, like put it this way, he and Luka played 39 minutes. PJ Washington played 36 and nobody else really played much. Maxey played 26 minutes as well. Maxey Kleber. Everybody else was under 20 minutes. So that's 4 dudes playing above 25 minutes, everybody else below 20. And that's why you see Kyrie with more rebound chances than most dudes on his team, despite only being, whatever he is, 6'1", maybe with high tops on, but he still had 11 rebound chances, good for third most because of those minutes. So when he gets those minutes, the 38 plus at least on the season, then he's at 5+ rebounds in 12 of 17 games that he's played that many minutes during the regular season. I like him to continue to be available for that stuff. If you like the PR as well, the points and rebounds combo, zero problems with that. For him to get 29.5 PR, so to get 30 in this game makes sense as well. I do think he'll continue to take, it's basically the usage was he and Luka taking shots, right? Especially once guys were missing. But I do think that the others will come to play a little bit more. So I stayed away from a high point total, but I do love him to keep getting this rebound prop. And I think we might see this get up to 5.5 by next game. And that is all the time that I have for you in this quick one here on this Mavs and Clippers game. Definitely want to jump into that live stream, 5:30 p.m. here today, as we're going to be going through some more bets. You guys jump in the comments as well. I take you through exactly how I'm looking at these bets, these player props, and the tools that I use, which are all linked in the description of the video as well. But this is all about helping us and having the community eat together. So get in the Discord as well. I really recommend it, free right now. And we've got plenty of great ideas coming to the surface as a result of so many minds looking at these games, right? Appreciate y'all following. Subscribe to the page if you would, and jump in those comments. Let me know what you guys are betting here on this video. Until I see you next, happy betting.